order to be fluent in the English language, you need about 3,000 words. Yep, that is a lot, right? And did you also know the foundation of every language is the grammar aspect of it? Alright, my name is Andy, and this is how I welcome you to today's lesson. In today's lesson, we are going to talk about part of speech. Part of speech. Once again, we are going to talk about part of speech, which is purely grammar. Alright, before we get started, please get a sheet of paper, a pen or a pencil, because we are going to take a lot of notes. Alright, now, what is part of speech? Okay, let me give you just a short definition of part of speech. A part of speech is a traditional grammar for one of the 9 categories into which words are classified according to their usage in sentences. I take it again. A part of speech is a traditional grammar of the 9 categories into which words are classified according to their functions in sentences. Okay, now, you know, part of speech is basically the building block of the grammar, like the foundation of the English language. Every sentence that you will see, at least, they should be the building block of the 9 part of speech. Okay, now let's look at the number of part of speech that we have. I tried to do a Google search and I thought it was 8 initially. But as I keep on probing, I got about 9 part of speech. And that is the official one. You have 9 part of speech. What are they? Words can be divided into 9 parts of speech. Now, what are the 9 parts of speech? The first one, nouns. Nouns. The second one, pronouns. The third one, verbs. The fourth one, adjectives. The fifth one, adverbs. The sixth one, prepositions. The seventh one, conjunctions. The eighth one, that is articles and determinants. And then the last one, the 9th one, that is interjections. So basically, when you see a text or any sentence, it comprises of these 9 parts of speech. They are just words. So every sentence or a text that you see, it comprises these 9 parts of speech. They make the grammar. Today, in the subsequent videos, we are going to take them one after the other. But today, we are going to start from the first one, nouns. Nouns. What are nouns? I hope we have a whole lot of definitions for nouns. I know you know what our nouns are. What are nouns? Okay, let me give you a simple definition of nouns or what nouns are. In the simplest sense, a noun is any word that names people, things, animals, places, events, or ideas. I take it again. In simplest sense, it means I'm just bringing it to your level. A noun is any word that names people, things, animals, places, events, or ideas. Now, give me one example of a noun. Okay, very good. You know what nouns are. Okay, let me give you some examples of noun. I'll start from noun of people. Okay, so noun of people, we have Alice. It's noun of name of a person, Alice. Now let me move on to the next one, noun of an animal. Okay, dog. Alright, let me move on to the next one, noun example of places. Okay, Yangon. Alright, noun example of an idea. Excitement. An idea, excitement. Okay, now let's move on to the kinds of nouns that we have, or the various kinds of nouns, the types of nouns that we have. I'll start with the basic one, that is concrete nouns. What are concrete nouns? I hope you're thinking, what are concrete nouns? Yep. They are people. Concrete nouns are people, places, things including animals that you can see, smell, taste, or touch. I take it again. What are concrete nouns? They are people, places, things including animals that you can see with your eyes, smell with your nose, taste with your mouth or tongue, hear with your ears, or touch with your hands. Those are concrete nouns. So think of anything. What can you see? What can you smell? What can you taste? What can you hear? Or what can you touch? Those are the concrete nouns. Now let's look at examples of concrete nouns. First of all, let's look at the concrete nouns of people. Okay, so you can say a man. They are tangible, you can see them, you can see a man. Or you can say a teacher. That is a concrete noun of people. Or of course, you can talk about me, Andy. That is a concrete noun of people. Or you can talk about Mr. Tom. That's a concrete noun of people. Very good. Now let's move on to concrete noun of places. Examples. Concrete noun of places. For example, a house, a school, Bangkok, or a beach. Those are places. Now, let's look at concrete noun of things, because we said concrete nouns are people, places, things, and what have you. Now, let's look at examples of concrete nouns of things. For example, shoe. Shoe is a concrete noun you can see, you can touch, you can even feel it. A marker or a pen. They are concrete nouns. A dog. You can see a dog, you can touch a dog. They are concrete nouns. Pizza. You like eating pizza. It is a concrete noun. Alright, very good. Now, what kind of concrete nouns of places, people, and things that you can think of? Write them down in your books. Alright, now let's move on to another kind of nouns. These are abstract nouns. Another kind of nouns that we are going to talk about in this video is abstract noun. What are abstract nouns? I hope you are thinking. Okay, let me come down to your level. Abstract nouns are just ideas, concepts, and emotions. They are ideas, concepts, and emotions. Unlike concrete nouns that you can see, that you can touch, that you can smell with your nose, that you can hear with your ears. Abstract nouns exist, but you can't see them. So basically, you can't use the 5 senses of a human being. What are your 5 senses? Your senses of smell with your nose, your senses of hearing with your ears, your senses of tasting with your mouth, your senses of touching with your hands. In abstract nouns, you can't do this because they are just emotions, ideas, and concepts. Alright, so let's see some examples of abstract nouns. For example, love. Love exists, but you can't see love. You can't touch love. You can't smell love. It is just an emotion. Another example, time. Time. You know time exists. You can just look at your watch and say it is 10:15, but you can't touch time. It is just an emotion. Another example of an abstract noun is religion. We know religion exists, but it is a concept, an idea, or an emotion. You can't see it. And we have something we call rules and regulations. You can't see regulations, you can't touch regulations, you can't see laws. These are abstract nouns. So know the difference. The concrete nouns, they are tangible things that you can see with your eyes, you can feel it, you can smell it, and you can touch it. Those are concrete nouns. But abstract nouns, they are just ideas, concepts, and emotions. We know they exist, but you can't use your eyes to see them, you can't touch it, you can't feel it. And for something to test to be a concrete noun, it should follow the 5 senses of a human being. The sense of hearing, the sense of smelling, the sense of taste, the sense of touching, and then the sense of feeling. Okay, now you can write your examples of an abstract nouns. The third kind of nouns that we are going to talk about is common nouns, and then of course proper nouns. What are common nouns and then proper nouns? Common nouns, proper nouns, you always hear them, proper nouns, common nouns. What are they? Okay, let me give you a shot, let me simplify it for you. Now, common nouns and proper noun, they are people, places, and ideas. Simple. People, places, things, and ideas. Those are common and proper nouns. Now, let's look at an example of proper and then common nouns. For example, a common noun, a man or man. We are talking about man. We can have a whole lot of men in one place. When you say man, you have not said anything. It can refer to anyone. So a man is a common noun. But when we want to be specific, we're talking about a specific man. For example, when we are talking about me, Andy. Andy is a proper noun. Why? Because you are talking specifically about me. Okay, let's look at the second example. A student. Let's say you have a lot of students in this classroom, and I say, student. Student is a common noun. Student is a common noun. Anybody can be a student. But when I am being specific and I say Smith, it means I'm referring to one person, a specific person. So that becomes a proper noun. Now, proper nouns have one simple rule. It normally begins with a capital letter. So when you are writing my name and you write A-N-D-Y and you didn't write the A in capital letter, it means it is not a proper noun. So always proper nouns begins with a capital letter. So when you are referring to specific things, for example, you are referring to your teacher, you can just say teacher. When you say teacher, it's a common noun. But when you refer to me as Andy, proper noun, you have mentioned my name. You are being specific. Okay? Very good. Now, let's look at common nouns and then proper nouns of places. Common noun and proper noun of places. For example, we are going to places. A city. A city can be any city. So that is a common noun. A city is a common noun. But when you are being specific, and let's say you say Yangon, you are being specific, and it always begins with a capital letter. That becomes a proper noun. Very good. Now let's go to the next one. A town. We can have a lot of towns around. So a town is a common noun. But when you are being specific and you say Muse, and it begins with the capital letter M, it becomes a proper noun. That is it. The rule is very simple. Common nouns in general. But when you are being specific, proper noun. Very good. Now let's go to common noun and proper noun of things. For example, we can have a whole dog is an animal. We can have a whole lot of dog. But when you have a dog and then the dog has a name, for example, Snoopy. That's the name of my dog, Snoopy. So the Snoopy becomes a proper noun, and then the dog is a common noun. For example, a car. A car is a common noun. A car is a common noun. But when I'm being specific, let's say I'm referring to a specific car, like Toyota, it becomes a proper noun. It becomes a proper noun. So Toyota is a proper noun. The next one, a team. A team. A team is a group of people. For when I say a team, it's a collective noun. But when I just want to be specific, let's say I want to talk about the best team in the world. Of course, that is the best team, Liverpool. That is a proper noun. Liverpool FC, a proper noun. Remember, a team is a collective noun, which we will talk about it in the subsequent videos. We are going to do videos about the rest of the nouns. Now, let's talk about the next example of common and the proper noun of things. For example, a drink. When you're talking about a drink, it can be any kind of drink. That is, when you say a drink, it's a common noun. But when you are being specific, let's say you say Pepsi, it's a proper noun. Very good. Now, let's look at this text, this passage, and then we find the nouns in them. Let's identify the nouns in this passage. Let's go. In my class at ICTC school, I have many friends. My best friend is Leah. I have a lot of love for her. Leah has a cute dog. Its name is Bobo. What are the nouns in this text? Okay, let's go. We are going to classify them. The first sentence. Let's read the first sentence. In my class at ICTC. Class is a common noun. So you write class against a common noun. And then we move on to the next one. We have ICTC school. That is, we are being specific to the specific school. So ICTC school is a proper noun. So you write ICTC school as a proper noun. Let's move on to the second sentence. I have many friends. I have many friends. Alright, so friends is a common noun. Let's move on to the next sentence. My best friend is Leah. Okay, my best friend, you see we have another friend there, which is also a common noun, but we have Leah, which is the name of a person. So that becomes a proper noun. Okay, now I have a lot of love for her. I have a lot of love for her. You remember we talked about abstract noun, so the word love over there is an abstract noun. Okay, now Leah has a cute dog. Leah is a proper noun and the dog is a common noun. Okay, its name is Bobo. Name is a common noun. Name is a common noun. And then the name of the dog, which is Bobo, is a proper noun because the dog has a name, Bobo. Yep. So in the next one, you are going to find the nouns in proper nouns, abstract nouns, and then common nouns. I'm going to read the text to you. That is your assignment. In my hometown, Muse, my grandma always cooks something delicious whenever I visit her. My favorite food is the shine noodles. I really love it. Grandma has a cute car. Its name is Toyota Matrix. I take it again. In my hometown, Muse, my grandma always cooks something delicious whenever I visit. I visit her. My favorite food is shine noodles. I love it. Grandma has a cute car. Its name is Toyota Matrix. That is your assignment. Identify the nouns in this passage. Alright, I hope you've learned something. In the subsequent videos, we are going to talk about the other 9 parts of speech. Today we dealt with nouns, and we have not finished with nouns. We are going to deal with countable, uncountable, and what have you. There are a lot of things to be talked about in nouns. Thank you for watching, and see you again. Thank you.